where my mom's at. Raising kids, cleaning shit, sweet alone.
Oh, let's do what would Christina P do? Oh, I just referred to myself like that.
You got mom questions? CP's got mom answers. What would Christina P do?
All
He's so
right.
serious.
Here's the first
I
one.
love that.
Hi, I have a what would Christina do? So I am engaged. My fiance is super awesome. I love how spontaneous he can be. And we recently have been talking about like getting little tattoos here and there, and can't necessarily afford little tattoos, but I went and got my cartilage pierced the other day. And after seeing this, he has decided like, well, I want to get my lip pierced, and I want to get a couple derms put in, those things that go like underneath your skin. He's like talking about wanting to get 4 of those on top of his eyebrows, and doing all of this body modification to his face. And he's reassured me that none of that would happen before our wedding, but I am just insanely concerned that he might actually do all this crap that I frankly find unattractive, and I can't even threaten him with dick touches because he has the libido of a menopausal woman. So I don't know how to discourage him without encouraging him to do something out of spite. If you could just give me your 2 cents on what would you do if Tom decided to put a bunch of crap in his face. Thanks.
Oh
Bye.
my God. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, that's so hard. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean,
Well,
what would Christina P do in this situation?
well, look, you've got, if you're talking, okay, let's talk about from this angle right now. So the wedding, if you have an impending wedding, that's the woman's jurisdiction. Okay, this is really for the woman. The pageantry of the wedding, the whole show is your show. So as a woman, you have the right to dictate how this fool's going to look. We all know that. Okay. Fuck what you heard about feminism. It's the woman who decides what the husband's going to dress like, what the whole theme of the fucking wedding's going to be, what the bridesmaids, everything. That's the woman. So you do have to kind of lay down the law here and be like, look, dude, do me a favor. If you're going to do all this crap to your face, just wait until after the wedding. Because those photos, believe me, they last forever. And you do not want to hate your wedding photos. There's nothing worse than hating your wedding photo. So you could implore him on that level alone of like, dude, just hold off until after the wedding and then see how you feel. Because a lot of this sounds like it's impulsive. Like if it's just one day out of the blue, he's like, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in my face. Like he's not really been thinking about it for a minute. He might regret all that stuff. But in terms of like how your spouse looks for the rest of your life and stuff, I mean, that's a major thing, right, Nadav? Like if somebody's like, I'm suddenly into tattoos and they weren't before, and now they're going to get like sleeves and you're not into sleeves, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, if you're gonna change the way you look, you got to make sure your spouse is gonna like the way that looks. Because I mean, I feel like saying, "Hey, don't fuck up your face for the wedding," is kind of like a temporary deterrent.
Yes, but in that time, it might calm him down on getting all this crap.
Well, I mean, you could also just kind of probably word this to him the same way that you just worded it to us. It's just like, look, a lot of this stuff makes my pussy dry, and I just want to make sure that you run this stuff by me before you get it, because God forbid, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not attracted to you anymore. And that's actually the biggest deterrent. I think men are more like, I think they could probably be more motivated by being like, oh, if I do this, like my partner for life will be less attracted to me, as opposed to like, hey, you're not going to get immediate dick touches. I feel like
the disapproval. Right. We talked about this in the last episode. Is like men are always saying like, I feel like I'm disappointing her constantly, and like you want to avoid disappointing her.
Right. And if you just phrase it just like, look, I understand like we're going through this phase. I just got my cartilage piercing. I don't know if she ran it by him before she got it, but it's just one of those things. You got to keep communication open because, you know, you gotta make sure that you don't dry up.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, how do I phrase this so it doesn't sound horrible? But how, like, I'll tell you, I'll tell you the truth. So when my Tom and I got married, we very much made like open. I was very verbal to him, like, hey, dude, I promise you, I'm not going to be one of these wives who just lets herself go. Like, I'm not going to be severely overweight. I'm not going to cut my hair super short. Like, I promise you as a wife. And he didn't ask for this, by the way. I just wanted to be this person because I think it's a European thing I grew up with, that my mother always looked fucking tight. Like, and that's what European women do. You don't let yourself get fat and disgusting and unsexual. It's stupid. Like, so I promised him, like, hey, dude, I'll always be sexually viable. Because I think that's a fear men have, is like, will she stop wanting to dick touch me and all that? And I was like, no. So I want to keep my husband, and my husband wants me around too. So we've been really cognizant of that for each other. Like, we always try and look nice for each other. Maintenance is really important. So I think it's frankly quite selfish of your spouse or your soon-to-be spouse. I mean, you guys are both young too, so you don't have this history that Tom and I do of 20 years, whatever. Right. But like, if I were to suddenly want like tattoos and all this shit, I would have to run it by him, because he's the one that looks at me and F's me. And this is the person exclusively who I've signed up for. Yeah. So right. Like, your partner should have a say in this.
Maybe,
you're right.
Maybe this is too manipulative.
Never.
But I was going to say, maybe you start kind of setting that precedent where, I don't know, maybe it's just like, maybe you have bangs or you don't have bangs, and you want to you don't mind it either way, but you make sure you get his approval first. And be like, hey, I'm thinking of like getting rid of my bangs. Is that cool with you? Like, will you still want to F me afterwards? And if you just make it kind of like around that, then he'll think, oh, I need to do that too if I'm making big changes to the way I look.
So you're thinking like a woman. This is how women think.
Is that how women think?
Yeah. They think that if I can be indirect, he'll pick up on things and then change his behavior.
You're right. We suck at fucking picking up on clues.
Sorry. Yeah, you guys are...
Like,
I love men.
Why is she asking me so many questions?
Yeah. I think what I love most about regular men, like dudes, is that they only understand like direct. No subtlety, no hints. Just say it outright. And I think you're right, Nadav. If she would just to be like, look, I don't like what is that stuff? The body modification above the eyebrows, that stuff. Like, I don't like that. I don't think I'm going to like that on you. You're right. It may motivate him.
Right. Just be like, look, just before you do anything permanent, just talk to me about it. Cause I just want to make sure that we still like each other in like 30, 40 years.
I know. Gosh, Chris Larson, are we right here? You're the, you're the litmus on what's normal.
It's complicated because at the same time, you don't want to dictate their their self-expression. Yeah. Like, if they want to be a person who puts bolts in their eyebrows and that's how they want to express themselves, that's sort of their right to do so. At the same time, there are the consequences that come from that. So if you're with someone who's not into that, they're going to be put off by it. So it's sort of like a calculus that person's going to need to be making. But maybe he's not going to be able to make that calculus if you're not direct with him. So you may need to be direct about it. It's like, I don't find that attractive, but I also don't want to dictate how you express yourself. So if this is something you feel is necessary for your own sort of expression of how you present, then by all means do what you think is best for yourself. It's hard to say. Because like at the same time, it's almost a form of manipulation to do that. But
to do what? To be like, I don't really.
To be like,
this.
Hey, there are consequences if you fuck up your face. It's sort of like, hey, don't do that thing.
But isn't that also grounded?
Was that?
Isn't that also grounded? It's just like, yeah, if you start looking uglier, I'm gonna treat you like an uggo.
The problem is, then then the other issues that now it's like, oh, I'm attributing my worth to my appearance, or my worth to you is based on my appearance.
No,
and you don't want to get into that territory either. It's like, oh, well, if you look ugly, I'm not going to be with you. It's like, okay, well, then I don't want to be with someone who would be with me because they don't like how I look.
Right.
It might backfire, is my point.
That is so true, Larson. Because on the one hand, look, there is this thing of like, I'm with you till death do us part. You're going to look ugly in some points in our marriage. You're going to hit high and low points. But then on the other hand, putting bolts in your eyebrows has consequences societally too. It's essentially you're walking around going, I don't want to work in an office. Like you've already X'd out, certain opportunities. You're sending a strong message already. So it's consequences no matter what, how you appear, how you present to the world. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
Damn.
It's like, hey,
Larson, when are you getting your eyebrows pierced?
I am not a body mod kind of guy. I know I exude that. I know I look like someone who just wants to get tatted up and just get bolts in my noses and my eyebrows, but I don't.
Christina,
it's not me.
What face tattoos do you want to see Chris Larson get? Because I think he'd look great with some face tats.
Not gonna.
I think so. I think like a 69 above his eyebrow.
Chris, look into the camera real quick so we see what we're working with. Ooh. If he just gets an eye patch tattooed, that'd be pretty rad.
I would just like to see his eyebrows shaved off completely.
Why?
That would be easy.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
They'll grow back. They grow back surprisingly fast.
That's something I've never heard.
Well, there's only one way to find out, Chris. I think we got a manscape somewhere in the bathroom.
Not gonna happen.
Well, okay. What will happen?
I'm not doing it.
This is a compromise. All right, you won't
I'm
shave
not
your eyebrows.
compromising on
What
anything.
will you do, Chris?
I've not agreed to anything.
You gonna tattoo your face?
No.
So you're gonna shave your eyebrows?
Not gonna do it.
Chris, come on, man. You got to give us something.
I know what you're doing. You're setting you're offering the absurd so that I'll settle for the less absurd.
Yeah, this is called anchoring.
Chris, would you love a woman that was covered in like body modification? Like, are you into that look?
It depends on the amount. Like if it's like, oh, I've got like a couple tattoos, or oh, I've got like a couple piercings that are like maybe not, beyond say like, a nose piercing and an ear. Maybe they got like an extra, like a, lip or something like that. That's fine. But if it's like, someone we see on like YMH, that's not so much fine.
Like a lizard lady?
I could not get down with the lizard lady. I'm sorry. Or actually, I think she's a dragon.
Because that stuff is like a lifestyle. Like there's a point where you have so many, and it sounds like that guy wants to embrace like a visual lifestyle. Like that's a whole other level. That's not just like I'm getting a tattoo. That's like I'm going to be the guy that's got the face done. I'm going to get the sleeves done. And now you're like, that's a different aesthetic category than like a Chris Larson. So like you have to find that guy attractive in the first place to be down with that. You can't start with a guy that looks like Chris Larson and then he goes through all that modification and then you're like, but you're not the guy I'm into. Like that's not my type. It'd be tough. That's like Tom. Like if he started getting a bunch of tats, I'd be like, dude, I don't even know you anymore. Like that's not what I signed up for. I signed up for like a hairy bear. I like hairy bears. And if he got like super skinny or something, I'd be like, that's not what I'm into, dude.
What if he got
let me see it.
all the Jason Momoa tattoos from Game of Thrones?
Let's see.
Like the tiger claws and shit on the shoulders.
That's not for me.
Tom's got those eyebrows. He could pull this off.
Oh my gosh.
You telling me Tom wouldn't look good with these tiger scratches and eyeshadow?
Tom will look great anyway. But it's definitely not his steez, dude. He's got all these scars on his arm and he's like, I don't like these scars. I'm like, well, I like scars. Scars are cool. I like the Khaleesi though. She's great. I wish I was Khaleesi.
Oh yeah. What part of Game of Thrones are you guys at right now?
I can't tell you. I'm in like season 2, episode 3, I think. Around there.
Oh man.
No.
Hit me up at the end of season 2.
All right. I know. So I gotta get back into it. Fuck.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where my mom's at.